Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Foley. Along with me, we have Mac Wade, who is the executive director with the Port of Morgan City. And y'all know what that means. We're going to be talking about waterways, dredges, land. We're talking about it all. I'm excited. It's been maybe, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a while, maybe a month and a half.
A couple months, but we got some good information for you.
That's good. Of course, I want to start off with Foley Island. I want to know what's going on with Foley Island. I know you have some photos that you want to kind of show us and let us know about where we are, because that area is growing. Not only that, let's just put this out here now. St. Mary Parish has what, two areas, two growing deltas.
Two growing deltas.
Not just in St. Mary Parish, that it's in America.
The only
and it's
two
located
growing,
here.
Right here. The only two growing deltas in America, and this is not the port saying this is coming from your federal government. Wax Lake Outlet, which is fed by Calumet Cut, that's fed off the Chafalaya River. That has been a growing delta, and there's probably about 10,000 acres if you look on the satellite pictures of the delta down there. That was not dredged. If you move over 5 miles to the west, you have the Chafalaya Wildlife Fisheries Management Area at the mouth of the river. This area has been pumped on for the last maybe 40, almost 45 years. And all those islands down there, that's a growing delta, and they're constantly growing because of the river flows down. That's the other growing delta, the only two. You see commercials on TV, Louisiana is losing a football field every 30 minutes. I tell people I make an end zone every 30 minutes.
Come on.
Because that's right. we make an end zone here, that's how much. Terrebonne Parish is losing more wetlands than anybody. That's a parish that joins the Chafalaya River. If you look at all the maps, the west side of Terrebonne is the only side that's not washing away, because the Chafalaya River feeds St. Mary, feeds that. You go a few miles inside, it's all washing away. But the Terrebonne's growth is on, but there's no population there. You know, it's further to the west and everything. Yeah. But Danica, we've had the best dredging year we've ever had. We had 4 dredges working at one time. I've been around a long time. We've never had 4 dredges, never had 3 dredges, never really had. Well, we might have 1 dredge working, and it would leave, and another one would come in. But we've had 4 at one time, never anything like this. Yeah. Those dredges removed probably almost 14 million yards of material out of our waterways.
That's something else you've never had, and that's Foley Island.
That's, well, and I knew you were going to talk about it, and we have showed Foley Island before, and I don't know if the audience remembers any of those photos, but Foley Island is down below Crew Boat Cut, probably about 3 miles south of Crew Boat Cut, around the 142. I don't know if this picture, Danica, is that high enough?
Yes, that's good.
This is part of Foley Island that the dredge Alaska came in, and I'm going to just show you one other picture.
And again, while you're probably, if you're a boater and you go out, that's mile marker like
142.
So,
yep, below Crew Boat Cut. Yes, you can't miss this. This is where the dredge was. This is the upper part, and the picture I just showed you was the lower part of Foley Island, down around the 142. They moved this year probably, and if you remember the pictures we showed a couple of years ago, we pumped 8 million yards out of the river up along the wood line there. Beautiful. It was all grown up, high weeds, vegetation was grown up, but we came in and we had to go back down to the 142, so we took about almost 3 million yards we pumped on top of what we already had. And you said, well, Mac, you covered up all that grass and everything. It will be back within a couple months, I can promise you.
It didn't take long at all.
Oh,
and
no,
it was really sustainable because birds were living on there.
Exactly.
You had all type of wildlife that had made that area home.
All we did was just put it up higher so it would be less chance of something happening.
Yes, so that's just one particular location. There's at least one more that we're going to talk about.
Yes, have we got time?
Yeah, we have a little bit of time until we go to break.
Let me just show y'all a lot of the people that hunt down in the wildlife management area. I'm sure y'all have heard of Teapad Island. That's below the game warden camp. This was a wetlands, and the Corps, or the Wildlife Management, Louisiana Wildlife Management, got with the Corps and wanted to pump it in, and we moved almost 1.5 million yards, and that was pumped.
Okay. Well, and that's still, we still have one more that we want to talk about.
Yes.
We'll talk about that when we get back
Yes.
from break. So again, that's so far just 2 areas that have grown up significantly. It's very hard to tell from those photos, but they are massive amounts of land. But come on back. We've got much more to cover right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. I'm your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Mac Wade, the Executive Director with the Port of Morgan City. We've already talked about at least 2 areas that have, massive amounts of land that is growing, because now you guys are able to continue to dump, doing your dredging, because you had
Yes.
the 4 dredges going on
Right,
at one
right.
time. Again, unheard of. Has never really happened.
No.
But at a cost of about $40 million, right?
Total
package.
$40 million was spent on our dredging
But
this year
there
in
has
the area.
been something to show for. Because I'm going to tell you, in the past, I have said, we dredge this every year and it comes right back. You spend all that money. We have something to show for where that you put your money where your mouth is at this point.
Yeah.
Because you've taken all that silt and all that, and you've made land that is sustainable for wildlife. I'm wanting to sell property.
Yeah.
You know,
Beneficial use is what they want to call it.
Yes. And so there's another one. Now, this one has been in the works for, what, 10 years? New Bird Island?
I'm gonna show one more. This is called New Bird Island. This is probably about 3 to 4 miles past Eugene Island Lighthouse. I know some of y'all are very familiar with it. This area we've probably pumped on for about the past 10 years. And in the past 10 years, we've probably deposited maybe about 10 million yards of material on this spot. This year we came in, and it never had broke the water. It was right up under the water. You couldn't see it, but you could kind of see the outline. This year, when we had the dredge down there, he pumped 5 million yards of material. Folks, 5 million yards is a lot of material. But 5 million yards was pumped on this, and you may not be able to tell, but it's many, many acres. This is several hundred acres out there that was created. This is above the water line now, and when we go back again, maybe next fall, we'll go in there and pump again on it.
Now, all this sounds good to me, and maybe even to those who are watching, but what about our government? I mean, are they taking notice? And does that help us in receiving additional funding?
Danica, that's a good question, and let me say this. The government likes the word beneficial use. I mean, the dredging goes on, but did you get anything for it? Yes, we created many new barrier islands. Those barrier islands are also hurricane barriers.
Right.
Any way you look at it, that helps this area. Not saying that, but it's going to knock the hurricane down. We could get hit real bad. We would have been hit even worse without all this stuff out there. But yes, the government likes the word beneficial use. And I do want to talk about, Danica mentioned we had 4 dredges. I had 1 running up here in the river. We had 3 down below. Bryce was one of them, working that bar channel, working the fluff. And we also brought in another hopper dredge to assist them while we were pumping around Eugene Island, the 142. But we received more funding this year than we've ever received, over $40 million in federal funds. And, the question is, well, how long is this going to last? That's anybody's question. I mean, all it would take, we didn't have a high river last year, but folks, we had a high river the 5 or 6 years before that. Here we are in mid-March, go back in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, we would probably already be at 6.5, 7 feet right now.
And that's where I definitely want to transition to, because we are back in March 2022. I've been kind of noticing the weather, not too bad on our end, but it's not necessarily our end we have to worry about. It's what's up north and what comes down and feeds into the Atchafalaya. Are we anticipating high water?
Danica, I was on a call yesterday with NOAA, GOSEP, which is the Louisiana agency, and also the Corps of Engineers, all their districts all the way across the country. We had a conference call, Zoom call yesterday. and it tells you what's going to happen up in this valley, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen here. You know, the Mississippi drains 33 states, 41% of the country. You got the Ohio Valley. That's the one that concerns me always the most. The Ohio Valley can put more water or rainfall into the Mississippi than all the rest of them. We had a low water last year. They're predicting low water again this year, below normal or normal conditions, which is good.
Yeah.
The river right now was at the river 2 weeks ago, you said was 2 foot. We're at 3 foot right now. We got a little bumper going to about 4.5, maybe 4.8. Then it should go back down.
It becomes of concern when we get to 6.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
big.
so
They're not talking, but
Yeah.
all it takes, let a 20 or 30 inch rain hit in one area for 24 hours up in that whole valley, and all bets are off.
All right, and so we're looking good. Come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, we are knocking one topic out at a time. We've already talked about spring floods, so we're pretty good. At least that's the prediction as of now. It's March 10th, so we're still keeping our eye on it because it's not quite springtime really, but this weather's a little off. We don't know if it's springtime or if it's winter, but we are still watching that. Also, we've talked about us being, only having 2 growing deltas in Louisiana, in America. It's located in St. Mary Parish. It's awesome. So, and talk about dredging. We've got the money. I love to talk about the cha-ching.
Oh, yep.
Let's talk about more cha-ching, and that's the port extension. That's a big project. $30 million.
What
is
Danica,
that
we got the east dock at $5 million.
Okay.
We have the west dock that's going to be about $23 million. So when you put it all together, it's pretty close. And by the time we finish getting equipment and everything, we have purchased the 2 pieces of land next to us. The soil boring companies were out there. We're going through engineering. We're going through design. I think we have one little piece we'll have to mitigate. So that all takes some time. It doesn't happen overnight. But within about the next year and a half, the east dock portion of that project will be completed, and then the west dock will probably take another 2 years after that, 2 to 3 more years after. But it's going to more than double the footprint on the waterfront. We're going from about 800 to almost 2,000 foot.
And that is great. So that means with that, we should see more commerce in the water.
Yes.
More vessels traveling into our area. I have this thing about, of course, I'm not saying that we are going to be Little New Orleans, but I would love for us to be Little New Orleans.
Yes,
really a major port city. We have just about everything, and I tout this area so much because we have access to rail, to water, to highway,
4-lane highways. Yeah. We have everything.
Yes, we're very attractive, and I just hope that this extension, if they build it, they will come.
That's right.
That's what they say.
And Danica, let me just say this too. I've been coming on here for several years, and every couple months you have me come on and update. But let me just say this: for the first time, we have a channel. We are open from the sea buoy all the way in. What did we get for the $40 million? We haven't had an open channel since 2015. Since 2015, we're in 2022. We are open that channel right now, and it's not me saying that. Go to our website, go on there where you see the Corps of Engineers symbol, click on it, look at the surveys. It shows we're probably around 21 to 22 foot going out. What's your dimensions? We're authorized at 400 foot. Around Crew Boat Cut, the 142, I saw 400 foot all the way out to Eugene Island. When you get to Eugene Island, that's where all the fluff material is at. The barge channel is at 22 foot right now. Now we're only 250 foot wide, but we're keeping it maintained. We can accept that, but we can take business in.
Yes.
And Danica, what this does, all our fabrication yards that are busy, now they want to get stuff in. They want to build bigger stuff so they can get it out. Some of them weren't gonna bid on anything over 15 foot. How am I gonna get it 15 foot? Mac, and you got 16. I mean, we can't even get out at 16.
Exactly. Yes.
So now we've got it.
I know you're quite passionate about this because you're messing up my shop, which is okay.
Yeah.
Which is cool, which is why I had to point that out, because I know you're quite passionate about this, and that's good, because we, at one point, I believe, if I recall, our depth at one time was maybe 14, 15. I'm like, that is really.
Don't have to bring that up. And I mean, but it's true.
Yes, but now we're at an authorized 2021, and 400
we've
feet.
got
Well,
it.
come on,
We've
that's
got
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
And that's the Corps' surveys are showing that. And this it helps these businesses because they can bid on bigger contracts, and then now they can get it out. But it's very good. And we've never had funding like this. $40 million. We never spent $40 million on a project in our life, but we had $40 million, and when we come back, we got more.
Okay, you know I love the cha-ching. Y'all come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. We're going to keep it very quick. I'm going to talk real fast because this is the last segment. You know, this goes by so quickly. You know, we're talking about the money. We love it. But there's something else that happened that I want to get to before MARAD. It was some individuals from D.C. that were supposed to come down. We're supposed to do a ribbon cutting, I think, a couple of months ago. Where are we on that?
The NECA, they were going to come down a year ago. COVID knocked it out. Then it's finally cleared up. We didn't get the channel up. I had 4 dredges working, but we couldn't get the channel up. We couldn't have it done in time. So the Corps assured us we're going to have it done by this date. Well, we missed that date, so we do have a date now. The river is open, but MARAD, the Maritime Administration, is coming down to do a ribbon cut, and they have a program called Marine Highway. The Marine Highway is to try to put more of the containers or more traffic onto barges or ships and move it by water instead of by highway, to get congestion off the highway, more economical, more green, energy doing that. We have been working in this MARAD thing where there's been a call taking place about every week for the last 2 years with Bossier, Shreveport, all up and down the Red River. That's what they want. They want to authorize it as a maritime highway for the Port of Morgan City. Stuff can come in here. Red River.
That makes it even more attractive then.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
great.
Exactly.
All right, awesome.
And I do want to point out too, we mentioned this $40 million. Well, what happens? We have been very fortunate. Our delegation, Senator Kennedy, Senator Cassidy, they have been very instrumental. We just spent $40 million. We're sitting on $45 million right now.
Come on. Awesome.
We've got this channel open right now, hoping, praying, good Lord, His will, but we don't get a high river. I can extend that money on out. If we have problems, we have enough money to bring a dredge in to keep this thing open, because we got to keep the channel open. So it's really tremendous. The Corps has been fantastic out of New Orleans. They have worked with us, and they finally realized, you really got a problem down there. Like Bryce, if Bryce wasn't out there working in the barge channel, Mac, it would plug up. Duh, what do you think we've been saying?
Why?
Now they understand.
Look at you getting brave talking about this. Usually that's me. I'm really sometimes not always the best friend to Army Corps. I used to I worked there a little bit, but it's like we need you to see, open your eyes and understand what's going on.
And I do want to say one quick thing before we go. On Tuesday, we had Civil Works with the Corps down. Danica, we've never had Civil Works come down here. We've had generals come down, we've had colonels come down, but Civil Works out of Washington, D.C. came down Tuesday. The dredge was brought in at our dock. The officials boarded the dredge, saw it demoing right there in the channel, because they said, this thing works. They're saying it, not me. Well, that's Mac just wanting to brag about the dredge. No. The Corps of Engineers said, and this has saved the taxpayers millions of dollars. This thing has done everything that we thought it would do. It took a while now. There were problems. Just terrible. But Bryce has persevered. The Corps stuck with us. The port stuck with the Corps and Bryce. It's working, and it's got a 22-foot channel out there. Surveys clearly show it.
Yeah.
But these people came down and they were very impressed because they'd heard a lot about it.
Awesome.
So,
okay, well, there you have it. More money.
yes, more money for us.
And the thing is, doesn't matter who's in office, are we getting the monies?
Yes, yes,
do
yes.
they believe, do they see, do they know that it's going to good use?
It's going to good use because you can see the results. We got a channel. You can also see that land we built. We just didn't throw it away. We squeeze we don't squeeze every dollar. We don't squeeze every dime. We squeeze every penny, Danica, to get the most bang for the buck for the community, to keep this channel open.
And you only have about 20 seconds. Lanier, what's your how do you feel about that?
We should get it. We deserve it because we got the 2 growing deltas and they're all about that. They're looking at one place on the North Shore and another place around New Orleans. They don't have the growing deltas. This is where it needs to be put.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Look, you know, I always surprise myself with all we can talk about when it comes to the waterway. But thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Thank you for having us.
See you guys next time. Take care.